Hello, I'm Ryan McEachern, and welcome to The DIG. On this episode, I will be speaking with Cameron Stockman from CEC Mining about how COVID-19 forced them to embrace augmented reality to commission projects remotely. But first, we have our own Stephanie Alvarez to share some important information with us. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Ryan. Our Compendium 2021 is a very special edition as it marks the 40th anniversary of MSTA Canada. Our compendium is for all new and existing members, and for more information, you can contact Linda Collins at mstacanada.ca. Back to you, Ryan.
Thanks, Stephanie. We'll catch up with you later in the show. When the pandemic hit, all of us were stopped in our tracks. But what if you were in the middle of delivering a project installation, and the conventional approach would involve costs to skyrocket? That's exactly what happened to CEC Mining. So let's dig in now with Director of Operations and Business Development, Cameron Stockman. Hi, Cameron. Welcome to The DIG.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about CEC Mining.
Yeah, so CEC Mining Systems is a Vancouver-based mineral processing equipment manufacturing company. We specialize in solid liquid separation technologies, and over the past number of years have been working and applying our technologies to tailings filtration for dry stacking and for underground paste backfill.
Excellent. So COVID-19 hits, the pandemic hits us, it stops a lot of us in our tracks. Tell us a little bit about what your situation was.
So we were fortunate enough actually at the outset of COVID to have two longer term contracts that were carrying us through 2020 in both design, fabrication, and construction. And shortly into the outset of the COVID-19 pandemic, we had a couple challenges. One of them particularly being that our supply chain is global and actually quite highly concentrated for steel fabrication within mainland China. So our factory ended up having to be shut down for a period of time. And after we restarted production, we had a number of projects that needed to be shipped out. And clearly, at that point, it was too high a risk for us to begin transporting personnel between North America and China. And so we were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place in terms of our timelines and deliverables that we had outstanding and governance policies within the company to limit exposure of people to risks that were undeniably persisting and continue to persist throughout this year.
So yeah, and you mentioned, with all the changes and the extra requirements, I know a lot of companies, there would be, if you had to go into a country, you'd be quarantined. Then after you left and got back, there's quarantine. So all these additional costs must have been substantial as well. So what'd you end up doing?
So actually in April, late April, we had a couple projects that were concluding fabrication. And standard policy for us would be to send a team of engineers to conduct our quality assurance programs and field acceptance tests before we were to ship those products to the end user. Given that we were unable to, follow the same formats in terms of our QA/QC, we ended up having to actually identify another solution that we could establish remote connectivity with our various fabrication locations. So actually in early May, we partnered with another Canadian technology supplier who has supported us in rolling out an augmented reality device to allow for remote inspection of our facilities and to be able to have that connectivity between our supervisors and the shop foreman to ensure that dimensions are accurate and that the system has gone through the necessary quality assurance procedures for us to validate that it's ready to be shipped to the customer.
Okay, and I guess this would also, you would need this once the equipment arrives and you actually have to do the installation and commissioning.
Yeah, so the original business case for us in terms of using this technology platform was on our supply chain, but quickly thereafter we realized that we were going to have similar issues during construction, dry and wet commissioning once the equipment arrives to site. Being a global company, we have projects on the go in Latin America and Africa. As you mentioned, quarantine on arrival, quarantine upon return. Project budgets, which were tens of thousands of dollars, have ballooned to, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So in late June, we decided that it would be a forward-thinking idea for us to roll out the same technology we had used on our supply chain to implement that for our customer base. So over the summer, we've had the opportunity to roll out on 3 projects now a wearable device that the site commissioning superintendent can clip to his or hers PPE and allow for point of reference video and audio communication between our command station here in Vancouver and the site.
Excellent. So can we see a little bit of what this technology looks like?
Yeah, sure. So actually, this is a device called the RealWear HMT. If you're familiar with Google Glass, it's actually a similar technology, but this is able to be operated within oil and gas, so it's actually explosion resistant. So this device, as you can see, has a capture lens in the on the left-hand side of my point of vision. And the screen here, if I was to orient it in front of my field of vision, allows for direct connection to our remote expert office here in Vancouver. So as a maintenance technician, I'm able to have 2 hands for work, be able to take instructions through audio, and actually our office in Vancouver is able to send remote digital work instructions that they can see on site. And this actually is integratable with the augmented reality function of this platform, such that they're able to have a checklist that they can sign off. It allows for digital date and time stamps and authorization levels for different personnel as well. So we've really tried to take what was once paper copy commissioning instructions or procedures and checklists and digitize those to allow for a greater degree of transparency and traceability. That all gets logged to our project server that anyone from another site or from the corporate head office would be able to look at and ensure that the project is going the way that they'd like to see it.
So it must be substantial in terms of you're, rather than a gentleman going through a manual, be it digital or be it paper copy, then going to the field, figuring out what they got to do. If they run into a problem, then they're going back. Like, you must be saving a substantial amount of time, because you take that with you. And if there's a problem, you can have connectivity to you right away. And now you're solving the problem almost in real time. Am I reading that right?
Yes. So one of the primary uses of this technology platform and the devices itself is having that direct connection with remote expertise. So from that wearable device, which synchronizes to their mobile device, they're able to initiate a call to our head office that's synchronized to all our devices here. Upon accepting that call, we can then see what they see and hear what they hear, to allow for that 24/7 service platform that we have always aspired to have and always been challenged for, given the time zone differences that we work in. Tanzania or East Africa is 10 hours ahead of Vancouver. So establishing that on-demand service call, I believe is integral to ensuring that our customers are comfortable with working with a company that's in another continent.
Excellent. And how has been the adoption? Has the customer, has it been easy to get them up to speed utilizing this technology?
So the way we're working with our existing customers is on a 12-month subscription basis. With that, they receive a suite of wearable technologies that they can distribute within their commissioning, maintenance, or troubleshooting personnel. And this is really a full life cycle technologies from us utilizing it or identifying it first for our supply chain and then rolling it out for commissioning. We also see this as a client maintenance and project maintenance sort of vehicle to allow us to post commissioning identify issues that we might need to troubleshoot or identify potential solutions to a warranty call out. So when we looked at the financial case for this, it really was quite compelling. For example, we had a customer who needed us to conduct an audit of an existing plant to identify a suite of mechanical equipment and what the arrangement looked like. Given quarantine times and airfares, that site visit was going to be roughly $100,000 US. Wow. And that was a lot of lost time due to travel and the current travel restrictions that are currently in place. We were able to roll out this technology for that customer for about $15,000 US. And that's for 12 months of remote support. So while almost every company is encountering higher costs attributed to travel and quarantine, there are solutions that have a really compelling financial case. So adoption from our customers has been fairly rapid. Every project ongoing that we have in construction right now is either using or considering to use this to facilitate a good portion of what would traditionally be on-site required work. So that digitization of those pre-commissioning and installation functions is really where the uptick in adoption for us has begun.
Wow. So it sounds like that classic story too, where you've got a situation, it becomes the mother of invention almost, but of adoption of this technology. And then very quickly you started to see where you could apply it in other parts of your business. So where do you see yourself going with it now?
Well, I mean, in past life, before COVID hit, I was traveling to China 12 to 15 times a year to conduct FAT, inspections and oversee supply chain activities. I likely will never have to do that again. So if you think about the bottom line cost impact to our company, it is substantial. So as we transition to the new use cases that we're identifying for this technology, it's really targeting automated workflows. So for example, within our typical arrangement, there's a variety of pumps. If one of those mechanical seals were to fail, this system supports automated workflows tagged to specific equipment within the piping and instrumentation diagram to allow maintenance technicians to see, for example, if pump X fails and we know that the mechanical seal exists on that pump X, there is a troubleshooting matrix that can be established to assess what the potential remedy is and how to develop a solution, whether it be purchase a spare or to rebuild the pump. And that automated workflow is now beginning to be developed for all of our systems to allow for that on-demand support without actually establishing a call to Vancouver. By actually pre-programming these automated workflows to the design of the equipment, we believe that we can increase our efficiency on our side, as well as increase the access to information for the customer, so they can readily consume that at a moment's notice.
Well, it's an extraordinary story, Cameron. I commend you and your team for taking the courage to actually go down this path, and it seems to be paying off dividends for you. So I look forward to seeing where you take this in the future. So thanks for being on the show.
Thanks very much.
And thank you for joining us on The Dig. But before we leave, let's bring back Stephanie to tell us more about the annual forum. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Ryan. I would like for everybody to save the date for the annual forum that will be hosted online starting on the week of November 2nd. I will be sharing more details about our program in the coming weeks, but it will definitely be a great event.
Thanks, Stephanie. I'm really looking forward to it as well. So until next time, I'm Ryan McEachern. Take care and stay safe.